Hello and welcome back to another Saturday stream on Tech Ambrosia. I hope everybody's had a good week. Hopefully it hasn't been too stressful. Mercifully, my own week, my stress levels have managed to ramp down a bit this week, which has been just fantastic after the last 2 weeks. Oh my gosh. So hopefully folks are doing well, and hopefully we're ready to dive into a Core 2 Quad in 2023. Now, back in the day, I didn't run a Core 2 Quad. I didn't run a Core 2 until it was well out of date. And I ran a pretty fast Core 2 in a Dell Optiplex for many years, quite happily. I was very impressed by the Core 2 architecture. Mostly, though, I used Wolfdale, which was the die shrink, 45 nanometer with 6 megs of level 2 cache on the dual core parts. It was a nice machine. I had an E8600 in an Optiplex, I think 760, something like that. It had a Q35 chipset on the motherboard, 8 gigs of RAM. I used it to beta test Elder Scrolls Online with my Radeon 5770 single slot because it was the fastest graphics card I could get to fit in the thing at the time. But the Core 2 Quad was, of course, that was the CPU everybody wanted. That was the darling child of the enthusiast space, at least as far as I could tell from where I was sitting. I don't know why. In particular, it was the one that everyone loved, and not I think AMD had a Quad FX platform or something. But everybody loved it, and it was apparently a really great overclocker. I have managed to get my hands on a couple of them. One of them is in the machine right over here that's running next to me, and I've got it mounted into a pretty unique motherboard, which I think you'll have fun checking out with me today. This has been a long time coming. As soon as I learned about this motherboard, because it completely flew, under my radar back in the day, and then as soon as I learned about its existence, I knew I had to have one. And it's been a long quest to get my hands on one of these that actually works. Let's take a look at the bench here. There we go. So on the bench is an ASRock 4-core 1333 Full HD. This uses ATI's final chipset, the Radeon Express 1250. And this is a really interesting chipset. This is back from when NVIDIA and ATI were making chipsets as well as graphics cards, because why not? But this was released so late in the cycle that AMD was already in the process of merging with ATI when this was released. In fact, it was so late in that cycle that Intel actually removed their certification, ATI's certification, for the 1333 MHz frontside bus for the Socket 775 platform. So it doesn't officially support 1333 MHz, although apparently development in the chipset was far enough along at the time that it runs it just fine. So we're going to find that out today, because the Q6600 is apparently quite the apt overclocker and should run at 1333 MHz, no problem. So anyway, yeah, let's look at the system real quick, then we'll say hi to chat. We've got a stock Core 2 Quad heatsink. This is the beefy boy with a big copper slug right in the middle of it. It's the last good heatsink that Intel ever made. And even then, this was at the cusp of the heat pipe era, so this wasn't a good heatsink, but it was the best one Intel's ever made. We've got 8 gigs of DDR2 800. It's currently running at its default settings of 266, so we're gonna definitely turn that performance up. So what is it running at? It'd be running at 333? No, 533. So we're gonna turn it up to 800. During the course of this stream, because we're going to overclock the snot out of this. Graphics card for now is the venerable Quadro P2000. This is basically a kneecapped GTX 1050. Kneecapped in terms of power, although it does get 5 gigs of VRAM instead of 4 or 2, as the 1050 usually gets. But the reason it's running this is I had some trouble getting it to use either, an era-appropriate X1900 XT that I've got, or my RX 480, which I thought would have been kind of a funny upgrade, just to keep everything in the ATI family. But overclocking, we are gonna. I've got two options for cooling for overclocking. One is this, which I'm pretty proud of. I don't know why I'm proud of it. You can get these on eBay for very little money, but this is it's the original Core 2 Extreme cooler. New in box, unused. It even still has the original thermal paste on it, which I imagine is going to be awful, and it's probably dry and terrible, so we probably won't use it. But also, for overclocking, we've got this monstrosity. This is, I don't even remember who made this, but I picked this up several years ago for cooling dual-core Pentium 4s. Because those are a little nuts. Excuse me. It's been a dry and dusty day today. Give me just 1 second. It doesn't help that I'm pulling out all the old dusty hardware either. Definitely does not help. But yeah, this thing's a little overkill for what we're going to be running on it, but if anything is going to let this CPU overclock, it's going to be this ridiculous cooler. This is not the original fan it came with. The original fan it came with was pretty weak sauce. This is it's a fan off of a CryoRig AIO, I think. Lots of static pressure, lots of airflow. Should be good. All right. Hopefully, so one of the last things, I overslept this morning, I'm so sorry. One of the things I did this morning, just before stream, was update the BIOS on this board, because it wasn't allowing me to use all 8 gigs of RAM. It was stuck at 4 gigs, even though everything in here is like, it's all 64-bit compliant. So I updated the BIOS. It's actually really easy to do, and the 8 gigs is working, and maybe that means, I haven't had a chance to test it, but maybe that will mean newer graphics cards will also work, because I would really love to. And if we, oh good, Gut Bomb's here. If we've got time or desire, Gut Bomb sent a, let's see, what direction is this going to be? It's going to be this way. Gut Bomb sent over a present. I use the word present loosely. This is apparently not in great condition. GTX 1060 6GB. That says, "Come for the jank, stay for the jank." So I imagine this is working absolutely perfectly. So we can try this one in here and see how it works. Other than that, also just before stream started, I was downloading and installing some games on here. I've got my 2 terabyte SATA disk from my old, was my games drive from my my main gaming PC. So I switched that all over to NVMe. So I've got most of my games on there. They just, Steam just needs to realize that they're there. So we can install basically any games we want from my library onto this machine and try them and see if they'll work. I think it should be an interesting time. So, let me switch back over to the A-cam, and we can say hi to chat. Hello, chat. Even before the stream started, Joe was here and said, "Playtime." You are absolutely correct. We are going to play some games. Jack68K, welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. How are you doing? Garth Beagle, hello. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you back here again. Ryzen 9 3900 XT, welcome back. Ryzen 9 says, Core 2 Quad Q6600, the only thing better than NetBurst. Gut Bomb says, hey! Oh no, PTSD. So Gut Bomb was very, very kind in attempting to recap another one of these motherboards. I've picked up, this is the third one I've picked up so far, and one of them works but doesn't support Core 2 quads. One of them, the first one I picked up, didn't work, and I thought it might be caps because a lot of the capacitors on it were quite bad. But the one that I thought, sorry, that was the one, okay, first one I picked up, threw in a Core 2 quad, didn't work, I figured it was broken. Second one I picked up, threw in a Core 2 quad, turned it on, and it hissed at me, meaning that one of the capacitors decided to let go of its special juice. That one, Gutbomb offered to recap, and did an excellent job recapping it. Unfortunately, there was more wrong with that motherboard than just the capacitors, it turns out. The first board that I tried with the Core 2 Quad and thought that it just didn't work, turns out it's an early revision of the chipset, and it doesn't work with quad-core CPUs. I threw a Pentium dual-core in it, and it worked just fine. But that's not what I want this board for. I want it specifically for Core 2 Duo and Quad processors, because I think it's an interesting chipset, and we'll get into why. I think it's fun. Also, it's like an enthusiast level chipset, but it's not as expensive as like trying to get your hands on an N-Force or one of Intel's like 965 Extreme boards or anything like that. So my hope is that we'll have a good shot at overclocking today on this board. Fingers crossed. It's one of those. This is probably the least bonkers ASRock motherboard from this era. This is the era where they put text all over the board. So you have these are boards like the 4-core VSTA, the one, whatever, the AM2 board, and the socket 939 board that ASRock made, where they put a future CPU socket slot on it. You could plug in a big card with an AM2 processor on it and get it to work on there. ASRock made a board that had AGP and PCI Express on the same motherboard. That was from this era. Like this is the least crazy version of ASRock's crazy put all the text on the motherboards from this era, and I'm kind of honored to own one. I know it's the least interesting one, but I'm hopeful that we can do some crazy stuff with it today. Anyway, let's keep going through the chat. Hello, Gutbomb, and yes, PTSD. Eric's Edge, hello, welcome to the stream, glad to see ya. Res9 says Heatpipe OC, yes, exactly. Exactly. Retro Techie, hello, welcome to the stream, good to see ya. I'm gonna have to read this name. Timo Kusela. I have an uncle, old taxi work PC that I helped pick apart. Core 2, 2.4 gigahertz, nice. Runs at 2.6, but it works. Want to put Q6600 in? Yeah. Q6600, especially if you can push that frontside bus speed up, because these are 1066 megahertz Core 2 quads, and it's kind of magical. It's a little bit of the original Celeron overclocking sauce. You just kind of push that frontside bus speed up a little, and it goes faster. That's the magic of the Q6600, at least as far as I know, from what I've read. Because again, I've never owned one, so this should be fun. Should be fun. Timo Crusale says I reset my 4970 PC. Good luck. Let's see. Joe's Computer Museum. Hello. Again. What is this Moopsy thing? I've seen you guys talking about this on the Discord. I don't know what this Moopsy thing is, but okay, Moopsy, great. Gamer1990, hello. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see ya. Tenmei Pranati, hello. Welcome. I think I butchered your name. Tenmei Panati, sorry. Yes, welcome back to the stream. Good to see ya. And also, Philip Retrovich. My favorite socket is 775. Yeah, we've got a lot of 775 fans out there. I know that. I really love Core 2. I'm not much of a NetBurst fan, but Conroe and Wolfdale and their 4-core versions, just what a great architecture. What a great architecture. Ryzen9 says, what about the tape OC on Q6600? I don't know. I have no idea. I know you can like mod socket 771 Xeons onto 775 and then overclock them, but I don't know how. I don't know anything about it. This is going to be an adventure. Joe says, it's a Star Trek thing. Okay, alright, I'll take your word for that. I don't recall a Moopsie in TNG or DS9. Those are the only Star Treks I actually know. Alright, so let's get over to this PC. Hopefully I've stalled for long enough at this point that Starfield has installed and Crysis, the Crysis demo is downloaded. Because like I said, I overslept this morning. I have not had all my stuff prepped for this stream, so apologies. Ryzen9 says, no NetBurst, sad face. I did do a whole video on NetBurst, on 775 NetBurst. Like, is it any good? And like, it just gets face stomped by pretty much anything else you throw at it. Like, single core Athlon 64s. Oof. It's not great. It's not great. If you want all the thrill of overclocking with none of the risk, and if I'm being honest, none of the reward, because they're still slow once they're overclocked, you can overclock Pentium 4s. On 775, they work quite nicely, and they're very durable. Socket 775 Pentium 4s are some of the most durable processors I've ever seen. I think once all life ceases to exist on this planet and the heat death of the universe approaches, I think the Pentium 4s on Socket 775 will still function. I'm pretty sure. Let's flip back over to the machine. In this case, I'm going to hop over to the Windows desktop on the capture card. Ah yes, gaming on cursed hardware. There we go. Just getting MSI Afterburner installed. So that has finished. We're going to need that to do some probably power tuning, I hope, on the P2000 if we can. Can we edit the curve? We can edit the curve. Cool. We can try an undervolt on this and see if we can get a little more performance out of it, since it's stuck at 75 watts. But yeah, here we go. We've got our Core 2 Quad Q6600, stock speed of 2.4 gigahertz. Yeah, it's not fast. I think most of the time when I run a Core 2, I'm especially Conroe and Kentsfield, just how slow they are, just how low the clock frequency is on these. I don't know if it was the 65 nanometer process. I don't think it was. I think it was just growing pains with Conroe. They mostly solved that with Wolfdale and Yorkfield. Did I get that backwards? Is it Kentfield for this 45 nanometer and Yorkfield for the, I don't remember. There's too many architecture names. There's too many architecture names. But we've got, since we're Core 2 Quad, we've got 8 megs of level 2 cache instead of 4, and instead of 6 on a Wolfdale Core 2 Duo. Almost said a Core 2 Quad. There's no Wolfdale Core 2 Quads. That's technically whatever it is, Yorktown, Yorkfield. I don't know. I've got one of those sitting in a box somewhere. I've got a Q9300 somewhere in here, in this mess. I also have a bunch of Wolfdale CPUs. I've got an E8600 in here somewhere that should do pretty nicely, at least in dual core games. So, stuff to do, doing the stuff. We've got Steam. Looks like Starfield completed. So we can try running Starfield on this thing, which should be pretty hilarious. Or it'll be over very quickly and it'll just say it won't run. There's two possibilities for that one. Let's see. Also, I grabbed Stray, and I've got a whole install of GOG games on this thing. So let's see. I'm gonna try and find this on stream. I have in here? Oh my gosh, I have so many games in my GOG downloads. Let's see. Oblivion, that's era appropriate. I don't think Quake 2 RTX is going to run on me. We can try it. It is Pascal, technically. Let's do a quick Quake 3 run. So we'll quick bench this in Quake 3 and see what Quake 3 can give us. That should be funny. What were we pulling on the... Because the last thing we ran Quake 3 on was the Pentium M and the Athlon 64 on 754. And that got us around, like, 300 frames per second? Something like that? This should be funny. If this runs. Hey? It does. Somehow there is still an OpenGL subsystem in Windows 10, which is incredible. Except it's going to show me my cursor because Windows put on a pop-up. Okay, fine. Oh, Windows. Yes, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Go away. Unbelievable. What an operating system. Best in the world. Okay, so let's turn up the brightness first of all. Is that gonna do anything? No, it's not. That's right. This is the broken gamma ramp. I forgot about that. There's a workaround for this somewhere to get this to not be so bad. I forget what it is. I bet it's going to be called something like a darkness fix. Yes. Joe says nutburst when you need performance and space heat. That's not wrong. That is not wrong. Gamer1990 says I had a Pentium D at 2.6, and with the ASRock board I got it to OC to 3.35. That's not bad. That's not bad. I've got I have a late model Pentium D. It's the Pressler, so it's 2 cedar mill dies. Its stock speed is 3.6. I haven't tried overclocking it. I don't actually have a... I guess I could do it on this board, but before this board I didn't have a good overclocking board for 775, and I'm not totally sure this is actually a good overclocking board. We'll see. But that'd be interesting to see what I can get it's a Pentium D 945, and see how far I can get that to go. That would be fun. That would be fun. Dan May says, I think Sapphire Rapids might have that level of cache. Yeah, I think for the L2. Meat City, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm currently looking up how to make Quake 3 not completely dark and unviewable. There it is. Okay, yeah, it's overbright bits 0 and ignore hardware gamma 1. That's how you make it not be dark and unplayable. Okay, let's make this happen. Oh my... What resolution are you running at, game? It says 640 by 480. I don't believe it. Oh, it's Windows. That's what's going on. Windows is doing stupid things. Thanks, Windows. Come on. Oh, Windows. Yeah, report that problem to Microsoft. I'm sure they'll get right on it. Fixing a 25-year-old app. Okay, let's do this. Let's turn off display scaling entirely, because it's terrible. Properties. Let's make this scale in the app only. There we go. Now leave it. Ah, still did something funky. I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, my text is still ridiculously small. Windows is scaling this to something stupid. Alright, anyway. We need r underscore over bright bits 0 and r underscore ignore HW gamma 1. And then we need to do a vid restart, I think. Hey, look at that. There we go. Now, what on earth resolution is this actually running in? This is running in like 1080p scaled or something, I think. Like, the size of that text is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Uh-oh. And now it has locked up. Probably because it was running at a ridiculous resolution, Windows. I wonder if that's the NVIDIA driver. Messing around with resolutions. Okay, resolution. That's fine. Hey, there we go. Actually running at the correct resolution and refresh rate for the capture card. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, where is the... Here we go. Perform scaling on... Let's do GPU. Preserve aspect ratio. Override the scaling mode. So now it shouldn't actually change the resolution that's going to the capture card. Let's see if it'll actually do this. Of course, the thing that screws up is resolution handling. I think it ignored me. Well, it's marginally more readable. I don't know what resolution this is running at, but it's not 800 by 600, 1024 by 768. So let's run a demo. Com max FPS 0. I think that's what that says. I think that's what those 12 pixels mean. Then we want time demo, if I can spell that correctly. Oh no. It locked up again. No! What is this doing? Okay, so that's not going to work. Let's try something a little more modern. Let's run Stray on this and make sure that everything is actually happy and hunky-dory. I'm gonna make sure, gotta move myself out of the way of the system tray. Let's make sure it's actually like ramping up the fan on the GPU. That would be nice. Let's set up this curve. Riveting streaming, setting up a cooling curve on stream. That should be fine. Good enough, we'll turn on our monitoring. We want GPU temperature in on-screen display. Memory usage and on-screen display. Oh my god, get out of here. Crow clock, memory clock. Power. CPU temperature. Have a GPU temperature in here? Yes, it's in there already. Okay. CPU temperature. CPU clock. Since that's going to change. Frame rate and frame time. Okay. I should really, I don't know if there's a way to like save my settings in Afterburner, but I always want those things turned on. I never want them to not be turned on. So I want OSD to be Shift F11. I'll make it Shift F10. F11's a pain in the butt to get to on this keyboard. Okay. So we've got auto fan speed, so it should start ramping up now, which is good. Let's run. Oh my gosh. Windows. Windows Y. Let's run Stray. Trina, hello! Welcome to the stream. You have joined a computer crime currently in progress. We're trying to run Stray on Core 2 Quad Q6600. See if it even works. Supposedly it's running. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely doing something. It's definitely doing something. It's thinking very hard about it. Oh, oh. Hey, look at that. The game is starting. Have a good sleep, Tenmei. Glad to see you join. Okay, we are booted into Stray. Let's see if this locks up. I'm gonna guess no, because like this thing sat for like an hour, just downloading, just pulling Starfield off of my primary gaming PC, running the CPU at like 75% the whole time. There's no way. There's no way. It's gotta just be a Quake 3 thing. That is a game. That is technically a game. Holy cow. I made the mistake of I don't think I put the CPU and GPU utilization in here, but I'm pretty sure that the CPU utilization is close to 100%. That's pretty bad. 17 FPS? Oh, it's this part. I hate this part. Turns out if you make the protagonist a cat, the cat sometimes gets hurt. Oh no, and we've got shader compilation stutters while we're trying to run from the little whatever the fucks these are. No, no. Oh, I died. Didn't press left alt fast enough. It's the worst QuickTime event. Because who uses left alt? I should really plug in a controller if I'm going to play this. I'm not going to play it because I want to see what we're seeing for utilization. I'm guessing utilization is, yeah, there it is. There's the utilization. Through the roof. Through the roof. Give me my afterburner back. Through the roof. Let's do settings, monitoring, where's my, oh, GPU usage, I didn't put it in the OSD. I'm awesome. CPU, total CPU usage, aggregate, add. Okay, so there's our utilization at least. Alright, so 17 FPS in Stray, full CPU utilization. Let's, what do you say we try and make things faster? I'm all for that. I'm gonna move this over here so I can get to my start menu. Let's make things faster. Or, you know, crash them. One bit says, is this the sequel to 1984's Alley Cat? You gonna let me into the BIOS? Oh, there we go. I think Windows refused to let go. I'll try this again. There we go. Okay. Yes, it is OC time. So CPU and PCIe async is what we want. So it keeps the PCI Express at 1 speed, and then you can overclock the front side bus. So let's can I type a number in here? I can. Let's go for 333 first. That should be 13 to 33 front side bus. So we'll try that. Let's see. I don't think we have any voltage controls. Which I'm guessing that's what the tape mod is, huh? That probably boosts the voltage. Northbridge core voltage. Is that just to the Northbridge? Or does that send more voltage to the core? I'm guessing it's just for the Northbridge. So that's just pushing the front side bus speed up. Ryzen 9 says, no, the Q6600 does not want to talk to you. Yes, thank you, Trina. Yeah, Stray is a slight upgrade to Alley Cat. Just a smidge. Just a tiny bit. You know what I should do is, we're gonna fart around with Stray. Let's get my controller out here. Did I just screw up all of my... No, I did not screw up all my USB. Amazing! That never happens. Every time I change something on my USB, all of my cameras freeze. Apparently not this time. It's a breath of fresh air. Is that a USB port I'm plugging that into? It is. There's so many ports on the back of this motherboard. There we go. So many ports on the back of this motherboard. We've got like VGA and legacy parallel. There's also like FireWire on the back of there. I think there's a digital audio jack. Uh-oh. It is not happy. Shoot. Joe says I have to be the luckiest person. My cameras never go weird when I mess with USB. That's extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. Alright, so let's strike a middle ground. I don't even know if this will work. This is a weird frontside bus speed. I'm guessing not enough volts. I'm gonna have to look up how to do the tape mod, aren't I? Yeah, right? FireWire. When's the last time you heard FireWire? Oh, Windows, don't do this. See if Windows is just cranky about having to reboot a couple of times. Or if this thing really isn't stable at 300. Nope. It is not stable. Okay, so we need to figure out how to do some volt modding on this. I wonder if we've just made the motherboard unstable. This might be a very fast overclocking test. When it doesn't boot even at stock speeds, that's when you know something weird is going on. Ah, darn it. Things never go my way. Well, I say that, but like, they went my way once. That was for the Cyrexes. Holy cow, did those Cyrexes just go like stink. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing to actually boot back and be stable. Fingers crossed. Diagnosing your PC. I tried to overclock. That's the diagnosis, Windows. That's the diagnosis. Just go away. Yeah, Ryzen 9 says, "Okay, I really don't think the Q6600 wants to talk to you. I think you're right." Where is my cursor? There it is. Okay. This computer's having a time. Okay, so we don't have any voltage controls, which is not great. I don't think we're going to be doing a lot. Spooky time is upon us. It truly is. A bunch of people posting that they've done this on like the stock cooler and stuff. This is riveting. There is apparently a way to get it up to 1.45 volts. I wonder, you know, there's that setting for Northbridge core voltage. I wonder if that's the problem. Let's see. Let's pump up the Northbridge voltage, see what that does. So we still have to, like, bring the RAM up to the correct speed, too. It's still running at 533 instead of 800. Okay. Move this out of the way. You really need me to, like... I gotta click this. I gotta click it? Really? It does work at stock settings, although stock settings aren't incredibly interesting. But we're going to try for a Hail Mary here. Get it to go to 1333 frontside bus and 800 megahertz on the DDR, on the RAM. It should work. The RAM is rated for DVR2 800, so fingers crossed. We'll see if this works. This had severe problems doing this earlier. But I also upped the Northbridge core voltage, so hopefully it's a little more stable. Hey! That is a no. It is not more stable. Would you stop that? Darn. Oh, Raz9 says, I hope the thermal paste on the Northbridge is fresh. You know, that's a good point. It's probably original. Okay, we'll go back to original settings. I do want to keep the memory upclocked, because I think we can at least get a little bit of performance out of that. Let's see if it'll play nice with that. Windows. Well, I gotta sit through this garbage again. What is up in chat? Micro Hobbyists, hello. Welcome to the stream. I am attempting to overclock Core 2 Quad, and it's not going very well. Probably not a bad idea to check that. Well, the memory clock at least seems to work. The computer has frozen. I think I need to give this motherboard a pretty thorough servicing before I try overclocking things on it. Shoot. Oh, it's back. Hang on. No! It just hung. Hello, Scarlet. How are you? I don't know if I'd say this is the place to be, but it's certainly a place to be. I am currently attempting to overclock a Core 2 Quad, and it's not going very well for me. It just ignores math too. It's awesome. I wonder if it is that. I wonder if it is the Northbridge heatsink, just like not having a good time. Okay, so we're running Windows 10 because the only copy of Vista that I have is RC1, and RC1 gets wind of your date, and it bricks the whole system, says its license is expired. So I was going to use RC1 on here, and then I screwed it up by setting the correct date in the BIOS, and then I ran out of time, so I just threw Windows 10 on this thing because I knew Windows 10 would work. Besides, it lets us see what the Q6600 can do in 2023, which it's turning out not a whole lot, not without an overclock. Let's see if our memory got to the right speed. It did. Awesome. I doubt that increasing the memory speed would get us any, like, performance in Stray, but I'm curious to see. So we were seeing about 17 FPS before, with the CPU being the limiting factor. I'm running at 100%. Yeah, Joe says F2, you mean FU. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. It's already loaded up much faster than it did last time, so fingers crossed. Of course I say that and then... Oh, you know what? Afterburner's not running because Afterburner by default doesn't load at system start. Seriously. I need to like start using imaging software and just image these hard drives. Give me Afterburner. Stupid default settings. Start with Windows. Thank you. Go away. Oh, did it turn off the... Hang on. Go and hide in my system tray thingy here. Oh, it did. Okay. It did leave that on. I thought I saw it turn off the fan curve. Okay, let's try this again. I can't, of course. I'll open up Steam. Start Stray. Let's do this. It has been a day. Okay. I imagine the loading time issues from before were shader compilation. All right, so let's go. Get through this section. Try not to die. This is very, very unresponsive. Blast it. I pressed B. Okay. Afterburner, you gonna show my overlay, please? I set it to Shift F10. Please do it when I do Shift F10. There we go. Good Lord. Yeah, looks like we're from 17 FPS to 19 FPS. I went the wrong direction. Now I die. Just happened to be playing like the worst part of Stray. This is supposed to be a thing that you get to in like the first half hour of the game. It's a quick section that introduces you to the antagonists of the game, and then you get through it and you're done with it, and you don't see the antagonists for another good couple of hours. But of course, because I've stuck the save here, we get to all deal with it together. I didn't think like slow frame rates would be really, really noticeable on a controller, but they super are. Oh my gosh. There is some lag here. No, no, don't get stuck on the environment. There we go. See, there we go. Now you don't have to deal with that section ever again. Now I can go back to the part of Stray that's fun. Being a cute cat and walking around. So once we're through the action section, we're into like 30 FPS here, which is kind of impressive. That's surprisingly competent, and that's at stock speeds, just with the memory like actually running at the correct performance level. We are definitely bottlenecking the GPU with the Q6600, getting about 80. Well, that was 90% utilization, staring at a wall. But like, looking out through an actual playfield, like that's 50% GPU utilization. This isn't exactly a fast GPU. So the environments that they put together for this game, I always thought were really, really pretty. It's got a lot of atmosphere, and not just in the form of fog, but like there's a lot of little details you can just kind of stare at for a while and figure out things about the world. That's not the correct direction, and this isn't the correct direction, but I want to explore. What is up here? Like this stuff. We've got a barrel of, looks like booze. Can't jump on any of this stuff. Another one here. And there's a security camera. If I meow, the security camera waves. It's still definitely, once you turn around, you're no longer looking at the wall. You're looking at like an actual play field. Like this is slow, but it is using all 4 cores, which is impressive given how few games actually do that. Okay, so that's Stray. Stray does work, so there's just something wrong with Quake 3 that it just doesn't want to run on this. All that just to verify that it does indeed run. George Z88 says, "Hi everyone, I'm installing Windows 7 Pro on my old Optiplex 990 while I watch the stream." Awesome! Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you have a pretty fun time with it. So let's see. The one I want to know, of course, is Starfield. Does it fail to launch? Does it run? It's kind of terrifying if it does run. I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Does it work? Yes, Q6600 is dirt cheap right now. Absolutely dirt cheap. Well, that is a no launch, not even an error message. Let's give it one more go. No, Starfield says no, and it doesn't say why. I'm pretty sure I already have this installed. Yeah, validating. Yeah, this is already on this SSD. But you can see if its engine works on this hardware, or at least the previous version of its engine. Yeah, right? Joe says task failed successfully. It's a very Windows thing. Just silently fails. Doesn't say why. To be fair, I think you'd have a bad time trying to run Starfield on 8 gigs of RAM. I'm pretty sure you'd have a bad time. Yeah, that was the plan. Q6700 OC's over to 3.33, I think. If you have a good copy of it. This one, the target overclock for this one is 3.0 gigahertz by moving the frontside bus from 1066 to 1333. This one won't do it, and I'm thinking it's probably something to do with the motherboard. I literally got this board in, tested it, made sure it worked, put it on stream. So I have not double checked that all the capacitors are in okay shape, that the heatsink paste, as Ryzen 9 said, that the heatsink paste is okay under the Northbridge heatsink. I'm sure it's probably original. Yeah, I need to service this board before I can do some overclocking on it. Wow, this is gonna take forever. It's almost like this game is enormous. Using 75% of the CPU to validate the install of Fallout 4. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Oh, alright. So your Q6700 can only get up to 3 gigahertz. That's unfortunate. That's probably the motherboard. I know a couple of folks who do kind of extreme Core 2 overclocking, and a lot of their Core 2s will quite happily, walk up the performance ladder. Usually getting around 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. Sometimes I think one of the people I know has gotten a Core 2 up to 3.8, 4.0 gigahertz. With some somewhat exotic cooling. Mostly just ice water in a loop, in a water cooling loop. But for those feats of overclocking, these folks use bespoke overclocking motherboards that they know are good, that are they're only ever used for brief overclocking attempts and then not used day to day. So, grain of salt. hope I can get more than just stock out of this thing. Because right now, I mean, the thing is, like, even if I set it to, you know, if I just turn it off of auto, it just immediately starts crashing. So there's something else going on, and I might have better luck. You know what? While this is validating, I'm going to grab set FSB, because I might have better luck with that. And just leaving the BIOS to do its automatic adjustments, but, you know, push that frontside bus clock up just a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, trying to get Conroe to go up to 3.6 is wild. Okay, let's see if we can get any luck out of set FSB. I had really good luck with set FSB with my I have a what is the thing? It's a VIA chipset socket A board. I think it's out of an HP. So, you know, Athlon XP. But it responds fairly well to set FSB, which was surprising to me. I was able to get a pretty okay overclock out of my Athlon XP 3200 plus, I think it was I used. Set FSB. Get in there. So, what is the clock generator on this? That's a great question. Oh, is it Realtek? Maybe. Ah, gotta charge this one. Maybe the first time I've seen a Realtek clock generator. That might be it. Right down there, that might be the clock gen. I'm gonna look up that part number, see if that's the one. What is that? That is a RTM865. There we go. RTM865. I need more numbers. T3 300 or 433. That's a 301. Okay. Hey, look at that. We have got a connection. Hello, Pixel Pipes. Welcome to the stream. Yes, once again, you have joined a computer crime currently in progress. I am trying to overclock my Core 2 Quad Q6600. And doing it through the BIOS is not having a good time. So I've got set FSB, because of course. George Z88 says I've got my Windows 7 installed 50 million updates later. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Starbuck Tech, hello, welcome to the stream. So this is just about done throwing Fallout 4 on here, since Starfield refused to run, unfortunately. Who wants to take bets on this just crashing as soon as I hit set FSB? Do I want to have to redo that validation? I'll wait until it's done validating. HC asks, is it okay to move up to Windows 11 from 10 yet? I mean, sure. It's, you know, there's you have to do a lot of mitigation on like the user information privacy spying stuff. But even once you do, Windows 11 isn't faster than Windows 10 unless you're literally running Intel 12th, 13th, or 14th gen. The scheduler in it is designed for Intel's hybrid CPUs for the big dot little configuration. Otherwise, if you're running 10th gen, 11th gen, older than that, or any Ryzen CPUs, even the split die X3D, non-X3D CPUs, Windows 10's going to be faster. So I don't see a reason to upgrade to it. Like, I don't need the new shiny thing. I don't want generative AI in my operating system, and I don't want my computer to be slower, so I'm sticking with Windows 10 personally. I see Windows 11 as a big fat vista of the modern age. Although the rumors for around Windows 12 don't make it sound any more appealing, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about about gaming. Ugh. Ryzen 9 says send it. Gutbomb says, I only need 9 more followers and then my son will be impressed with me. Everybody go follow Gutbomb. Go do it right now. Go click on his name and go subscribe to his channel. Let's give him a hug of death. Joe's Computer Museum says, excuse me, Joe's Computer Museum says, my next OS is going to be Mac OS. Isn't your current OS Mac OS? Gutbomb, put your Twitter in the chat. You dork. There we go. Okay, so that is updated. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send it. Let's see what it does. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where's my... Give me my CPU-Z. Let's see if this actually sees it. It should... CPU-Z should see this right away. Oh, of course. Gutbomb's Twitter handle is @Gutbomb. Surprisingly. Everybody go follow him. If you have a Twitter account. If you don't, I totally understand. That place is a hole these days. Alright, here we go. I'm going to try going from 266 to 300, which should push this up to 2666? I don't know. Let's find out. Hello? This thing's still running. How long will it run for? That is a 1200 megahertz frontside bus. Resulting in a 2.7 gigahertz CPU. It's doing the thing. Set FSB. Set FSB. Should we go faster? Oh, see, there's the issue. The core voltage is just sticking at 1.3 volts. I don't know how high we can take this. Let's try the legendary. Just slap it onto 333 and see what happens. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, it's doing it. Did it stop doing it? No, it's still... I can still move windows around. Yo! That is a 3 gigahertz Core 2 quad. Right there. Holy cow. Okay, let's see if it'll run a game. Let's see if it'll run Stray. Because we have a direct comparison. Yo! No freaking way. Thank you so much, Trina. Joe says 321 BSOD. I hope not. Mouse cursor is still responsive. Oh, Stray crashed. So nope, that's a no. And mouse cursor's frozen. That's better than... Oh, there you go. There it is! Joe wins. Joe wins the stream. Blue screen to death. Well done, Joe. Way to go on calling it. Scarlett says, my home theater PC is an i7-4770K, still works great, I bet. There's really no reason to go past Haswell for, like, flat gaming. Like, if you're not doing VR or you're not playing, like, literally the newest, most CPU-intensive, worst optimized games that are out there, there's literally no reason to go past Haswell. Like, none of the Skylake stuff really gets you anything unless you're looking for, like, maximum frame rate in, like, I don't know, Rainbow Six or whatever. Haswell was too good. Now, the reality is Skylake was kind of garbage, and then we got stuck with it for 4 generations. Joe gets internet points. Yes, yes you do, Joe. Well done. Micro Hobbyist says I have a Gen 8 Intel with a 1080 Ti, still running smoothly. Yeah, it's a good system. It's a good system. One Bit Fever Dream says GTX 980 with an i5 3570K, starting to feel it. Yeah. Maxwell didn't age quite as nicely as Pascal. Unfortunately, I think, honestly, I feel like it was Nvidia that did that to Maxwell, because if you were back in the day and you remember when Maxwell replaced Kepler, the performance uplift was really incredible, especially considering there wasn't a die shrink there, right? Like Maxwell, or Kepler 2.0 was on 28 nanometer, and then Maxwell was on 28 nanometer. And yet, NVIDIA still found like 50% more performance on the high end with that generation, just by making the architecture more efficient. It was really impressive. Of course, then, Pascal came around, they finally got the die shrink down to 16 nanometer, and it just took off from there. Pascal was a world beater. Holy cow. But, I don't know, Maxwell seemed okay. It's too bad that it's aging so rapidly. So we should be back to our stock settings. I wonder if I can just kiss it up to 300 megahertz instead of 333 and see if it'll work. It'd be kind of funny. Scarlett says my HDPC is running a 1070, which also a solid choice. Gotta pick my RTM 865 300 get frontside bus. There we go. Let's push that up to 300. Set frontside bus. And let's try Stray again. What is this thing doing? Oh, it's still doing the boot time shuffle. Got a lot of stuff running in the background. Good old Windows. Let's see if this works. The SSD that I'm loading these things off of isn't particularly amazing, but I think this is SATA 2. Maybe SATA 2. Maybe it's SATA 1.0. I don't even know. It's pretty old. Let's see if Stray behaves itself this time. Okay. Now, Afterburner is still saying 2.4 gigahertz, but the set FSB operation succeeded, so it should be running at 2.7 at this point. Still at stock voltages, so I don't expect this to be perfectly stable. Got a lot of stuff to load in, first of all. If we run over here, that seems faster. I think we were looking at 29 FPS before. Now we're getting 34, 35. I think it's working. It's not a huge boost, especially considering I'm guessing the system's going to be pretty unstable from here, since we don't have any voltage control. HC says, need to build a home theater PC, not sure what to build to drive the 4K TV. You're gonna need a lot of graphics card. So I have my primary gaming PC right over there has a 3080 in it. It's a 3080 12 gig, so a little bit faster than the stock 3080, because NVIDIA, in their infinite wisdom, put more shader units on the 12 gig version. It's meow at the camera. Yay. And it is like, especially with Starfield, like it's borderline okay for 4K anymore. Like, it was a really nice 4K graphics card when I got it, and it's just gone so far downhill so quickly. It's really, really frustrating. The thing about modern graphics cards is, you know, everybody's putting compute on them, right? Like, there's a ton of like GPU cores, and there's a ton of texture mapping units. Well, sometimes there's a ton of texture mapping units, but there's, you know, there's lots and lots of shader cores. You've got lots of shader horsepower, but there's no memory bandwidth. You know, unless you're looking at literally the top of the line machine in the lineup, there's no memory bandwidth. It's 128-bit bus, 160-bit bus, 192-bit bus. You know, like, and that's what kills your 4K frame rates. Eventually, it's going to be, you know, even a card with like 192-bit bus, 128-bit bus, even if it does well at 4K now, or a 256-bit bus, you know, even if it does well at 4K now, as games get more difficult to run and as things get more complicated and there's more demand for fill rate and just putting pixels on the screen, that bus speed is really going to start to hurt a lot. And that's what I'm starting to see with my 3080, honestly, is like, it just, there's not enough memory bandwidth. You know, they saved it all for the 3080 Ti and the 3090, and it's just not enough. It's just not enough. We need, like, uh-oh. Whew. You scared me there, game. I guess they had to use that animation one more time. That's a big shader compilation stutter there. Holy cow. Oh, and it clears up. And now we're back to 30 FPS. This is like borderline enjoyable. Stray is not a game that needs 60 FPS by any means. It's nice to have, but it doesn't need it. And like, other than the shader compilation stutter, it runs pretty well on this Core 2 Quad, which is kind of hilarious. But like, that was the thing, right? Like, this is a cross-generational game. It was hyped for the PS5 launch, but it was designed for the PS4 and the Xbox One. And because of that, because it's got some really good optimization in it for those systems, it can run on really low-end hardware, much lower-end hardware than you'd expect it to be able to run on for, you know, a PS5 launch title. Or what would have been a PS5 launch title if they'd hit the deadline. It's okay. I don't care if they hit the deadlines. I don't want game devs to be crunched. Where am I going? I need to go over here. I need to somehow get onto that platform. Oh, I need to go back up here. That's why. Come on, there you go. And push this board. Push the board. But yeah, this is not bad, honestly. So like, let's do some quick non-stray gaming tests before we close out the stream today. Because the question of the stream, of course, was how is the Q6600 doing in 2023? And that was still maxing out the CPU. Look at that. Holy cow. Holy cow. Well, with a little overclock, I think the Q6600 gets a lot more usable. Make sure that that is actually still doing its thing. Gutbomb says, I went from a 1080 Ti to a 3080, and yeah, I got a decent improvement on flat screen games, but a dramatic improvement in VR. Yeah, the thing about a 3080 is if you've got an index or something around that level of clarity, so like a Quest 2 or a Vive Pro, something like that, the 3080 is enough GPU to push those at, 200% render scale or higher. And that's when VR starts to look really good, is when you can get it up to 200% of your headset's render scale. And yeah, the 3080 is definitely good for that. Definitely. Definitely. So yes, we are still at 2.7. It's been pretty solid. Let's does it tube the U's is the question. Does it tube the U's? Honestly, it's pretty usable. Like, this is fairly snappy. Oh, that's an ad. You can't set the quality on an ad. Come on. They're quite happy. YouTube is quite happy to run ads on my videos, even though they don't pay me yet, which is really frustrating. So, where did I... Yeah, I put some gameplay footage in here that runs at 60 FPS. Well, it's captured at 60 FPS. That's doing it. It's 720p 60, but like, that's definitely doing the thing. Okay, what about 1080? Do I have any more gaming footage in here? Yes, during the benchmarks, that's right. That's doing the thing. I don't think it'd be a huge sacrifice to, like, run a Core 2 Quad for a daily system, honestly. As long as you're not doing, like, video rendering, I think it'd probably be fine. That's impressive. That is impressive. Hello, Alion59. Hello. Yes, I'm just checking video playback performance on the Core 2 Quad. Looks like it's working well. I'm actually just about to shut down stream. We've got about 15 minutes left. I've been running long the last couple of times, and I've got a lot of stuff to do the rest of the weekend, because this weekend I'm doing my Halloween episode. I have a lot of stuff to film and a lot of script to write. So there is a new video coming out on Monday. Monday morning, I'm looking at the Thermalright Silver Soul 110. So catch that review if you want to. If you're interested in inexpensive but capable modern coolers. I really love Thermalright. I really love what they're doing. And yeah, it's cool. It's a neat little look at that cooler. What else? So we ran some Stray on this, which we overclocked it sort of successfully. Using a set FSB. We got up to 2.7 at least, stably. What else? Starfield refuses to run on it. I think it's too old of an architecture. Do I have anything else on here that I could install quickly? That would be interesting. I don't think so. Not that I could install in the next, like, 5 minutes. Most of this stuff is... By the way, games are really huge these days. Holy cow. Oh, you know what? I did install Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition. Not that this is going to particularly stress the Q6600, but we gotta at least play some Rot, right? I can't just hand in my retro gaming card. There we go. That's the correct logo to have at the start. Oh yeah. Good old Rise the Triad. Oh wait, they've got... Oh yes, they've got the shareware version. They've got the full version, Extreme Rot. Ooh. 40 levels, very difficult. As if Rise of the Triad isn't already very difficult. Alright, let's do the first episode of, or the first level in the shareware campaign. I don't know what any of my... I've got mouse look. Oh good, they set this to WASD by default. That's so nice. Alright, I have a heat seeker, but there's a bunch of hot spots around here, so it doesn't really do much. Gotcha. One more in here? Yes, one more. Bye. Yeah. That's a lava wall. Don't hit the lava wall. The fun part about, I don't know if any of you are interested in Rise of the Triad at all, but the fun part about it is you are not dead. Yeah. All of the bullet weapons have infinite ammo, so obviously the pistol, you can also do guns akimbo on the pistol, so you have 2 pistols, and then the MP5, whenever you pick it up, is also infinite ammo. Try not to get killed by the lava wall. I got shot. Dang. It's funny that Extreme Rot is very hard, because Rise of the Triad is just, it's tough. It's a tough game. You've got pretty much every enemy in the game. All the ones that matter are hit scanners. They're just awful. They're just awful. I do love this game because of nostalgia reasons, but like as a boomer shooter, it's not amazing. Unless you have that particular need that can only be filled, and of course sideways movement does not move completely sideways. You have that particular need for specifically Rise of the Triad. Anyway, yeah, that has been a look at the Q6600 in 2023. I'm planning a larger video on this, just to like take a look at it closer. I definitely need to service the motherboard, make sure we can actually do some real overclocking on it, get a volt mod installed maybe, and see what we can make this Core 2 Quad do, because I think it'd be pretty interesting. Anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. Let's see if anything's gone on in the chat here. Looks like no. Oh, hello! Hello, Allie. I know you. Oh, that's right. That's right. We didn't do the cooler test, yeah. I suppose. Maybe a couple of minutes. Yeah, let me turn this thing off, and we'll throw on the ridiculous cooler and see if we can get any more, get a few more megahertz out of this thing. Since set FSB seems to actually, like, work. Yeah, let's try that. Good call. Because I can't just walk out with this thing and then not use it. It's just so ridiculous. There's an iPhone for scale. That's how big this thing is. It's stupid huge. Okay, let's... Oh, push pins. They're so bad. Let me flip over to the desktop so y'all can see what's going on here. There we go. Look at that beautiful mess. Okay. Get this off of here. There we go. But yeah, that's that classic Core 2 heatsink with that big copper slug in there. I need some paper towel, 1 sec. Off. Not particularly clean, but that'll do. Okay. Arctic MX4. Medium-sized droplet. This cooler is not particularly flat. It's mostly convex. It bows inwards. Let's see. Put this on this way. Make sure this is ready to go. Stupid push pins. Not helped by ASRock's decision to put the primary power connector right there. Alright, we are on. And Oh, I hate push pins so much. Did not feel solid. Whew. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's get the cooler fan in here. Okay. Oh yeah, she loud. Okay. Like and subscribe. See if this gets us any more frequency. Oh yeah, no, there's quite the breeze coming off of this thing. It's moving a fair amount of air. Okay, so we should be at stock speed, and we are, 2.4 gigahertz. We didn't crash this time, so set FSB remembered our clock generator. So we get the frontside bus. There it is, 266. And let's just full send. Just go all the way up to 333 and see what happens. There we go. That is 3 gigahertz. Let's see if it'll start up Stray. Had trouble with that last time. Here we go. The fan slows down when the GPU's under load. That's a bad sign. Oh boy. Alright, Afterburner. Give me my stats, thank you. That's running pretty nicely. I mean, it's not like world-changing, but so far we're over 30. If we, meow at the camera. I love this game. Okay, so this sorta working? There's a weird I don't know if it's like a memory bandwidth issue or what, but oh, that's that shader compile stutter. It's still there. And then it clears up, and it's just fine. That's definitely faster than before. That's like, but that's like playable. This is not bad, and it hasn't. I'm gonna jinx it, but I'm gonna say it. It hasn't crashed yet. Gonna kick these bottles around. There we go. If you meow at this section, you get the little lights do their thing. Shows you where you need to go. Uh-oh. I think that was it. I think that was it. Yep, there we go. There's our crash. That's way better than it did before, though. Way better. Like, it got, like, 10 seconds before crashing last time. There's something to be said for too much cooling. Alright, y'all. I am gonna call it there. That is almost a perfect 2-hour stream looking at the Core 2 Quad Q6600 in 2023. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now let me switch over to the A cam and I'll play you out. So I hope everybody had fun. I certainly did. Once again, I was not expecting to get any kind of like... I mean, I was hopeful, right? So like I started the stream out really optimistic, like, oh yeah, no, we're going to overclock this Q6600, it's going to be great. And then, you know, once we realized that the BIOS overclocking utilities weren't functional, I kind of like resigned us to our fate of just running the Q6600 at stock speeds, 2.4 gigahertz. But the fact that set FSB actually works, and it works as well as it does, very impressive. And this is a great showing for this thing. With no voltage modification whatsoever, being able to push it all the way up to 3 gigahertz was not bad. It gets pretty usable up there, up at the 3 gigahertz range. Charlotte Thorne says, "Slaps roof, you can fit so many megahertz in this thing." It is a far cry from a couple of weeks ago when we were overclocking Cyrixes, and it was amazing when we got 200 megahertz out of one of them. But you know, it's the same idea. It's the same idea. Get free performance. Joe says, "I can hear it." Yes, this one is very loud. This cooler is quite loud, and it's kind of scary. You don't want to mess with it while it's doing what it's doing, because it's gonna probably take your finger off. Yeah, Scott Baum says it feels like it's hitching in a weird way, like some of it is almost running a little too fast. Yeah, it was very strange. I wonder if that was just like some of the cores becoming desynced before we got the full crash. But yeah, I'm glad everybody could make it. It's good to see everybody. Hopefully you come back for the next one, which will be not next week, but the week after. I'm traveling home for some family stuff. It's not fun. But I'm going to try and stream the weekend after that. So not next weekend, but weekend after. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm very glad y'all were able to make it, and I hope you had fun. And I look forward. I don't hope to look forward. I do look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great night.